Hi everybody, welcome to another studio vlog. I am doing another one because I don't know what else to do and it does kind of keep you motivated to do things, so I'm just going to do them. My son's gone back to nursery today, which leaves me free to kind of get on with hopefully doing a bit more drawing and painting and designing. My shops are still closed for the time being because obviously the post situation is still not good, and I don't want to kind of post things and have lots of problems with things lost or delayed or people get disappointed. So for now Etsy shops remain closed, but I'm spending the time preparing hopefully some new products for my Emily pencil shop rather than the paper geisha. So I'm going to work more this week on the botanical, I don't know what I'm going to call them at the moment, but I was working on these date sheets, do you call them? Like, these are just like printouts to test to see if I like them or not, like the number date things with flowers. I'm still not happy with the quality of the drawing or the printout, to be honest. I mean, the printing is probably just my computer settings or my printer settings. So I'm going to try around with different like printer papers and printer settings today. But this is kind of one version. And then this is the brighter version that I shared on Instagram. Yeah, so I don't know. I do like them. I'm just being perfectionist about these things, but I need to kind of move on to do something else. I want to do some larger stickers, some more like die cut stickers. I suppose I just have a bit of, I really like these ones, a bit of sort of not frustration, but like I just feel like I could do better. Every time I do something, I look at it and I'm like, oh, that could be better. But never mind, that's what happens when you're making things. So I'm cutting quite suddenly to, I did some footage of how I actually drew the date number stickers. And I'm using a light box by a brand called Huion. And I ordered this on Amazon quite a while ago. And on here I've got 2 sheets of paper. The bottom sheet, well, initially I printed off these numbers on an A4 sheet of paper, just on normal printer paper. And then I'd used my light box originally to draw the sort of the flowery parts around the numbers. And the drawing paper I'm using is Midori Cotton A4. You can actually buy paper pads from Midori, and I quite like the quality of the paper, so I used that over the top, and I drew the flowery pattern around it with ink using a fountain pen. And I'm using an ink by Pilot from the Iroshizuku series called Shin Ryoku, which actually means fresh green, I think. And it's the Ryoku that comes from Ryokucha, which is like a fresh green tea. And the Pilot Kakuno pen, which has a fine nib on it. There's a bit of flashing imaging coming up now, so I mean, I don't know whether I should do an epilepsy warning, but if you have epilepsy, then just be careful because the screen flickers for some reason. And I'm using my Japanese watercolours, and I can't remember the name of these. They're not the Gansai Tambei ones, I think other people use, but I'll have them linked down below as with everything else. So at this point, I've already done my ink outline with the Shinroku ink, and I actually scanned it in and did I photocopy it? I can't remember. I either scanned it and printed it or photocopied it. So now my bottom layer is my line drawings, and I'm using the top layer of the Midori paper to kind of have a go at colouring in some detail. But to be honest, the watercolour paint doesn't quite work so well on the MD cotton paper. Obviously, it's not a watercolour paper, but if I'd used a watercolour paper on the top layer, I don't think, I mean, I should have tried really, I don't think it would have shown through enough for me to see the lines below. So the first stage, as you just saw, was doing the details on the flowers. And then the next sheet, I'm sort of painting around an outline in different colours. And the idea being that when I scan these into Photoshop, I'll put these all as separate layers. So this would be the bottom layer, which will have like a background. And then the coloured layer will go on top. And then on top of that, right at the top, you'd have the line artwork. And that was my first attempt. So these are the sheets sort of laid out for you so you can see them. But in actual fact, in the end, I think I just redid the whole thing. You can see here, I just started again and do it all out with pencil. The bottom sheet you can see here. Do it all out with pencil and then coloured in the whole thing. So like the background and the colours included. And I ended up with all these sheets basically. And then a bit later on, I thought I would just have a little faff round using my watercolour brush to sort of blend out the green ink on that first initial line drawing. So this is me using one of my printouts from my first attempt, where I did the separate layers, using it to sort of reference for colouring in this final one. So that's the final one completed, painted in, coloured in with the paints. Yeah, and as I said, the way that the paint sits on the paper is obviously not very satisfactory. It's sort of, you can't blend the colours very well. There tends to be a sort of like a hard line between any colour that it mix great. But that's, you know, to be expected because it's more of a drawing paper really, and it's gorgeous paper for drawing on and writing on, but not for watercolours obviously. And that's my little test sheet, which I always like the little test sheets. So yeah, I scan that one into my computer and I add the initial paint lined layer on top and give it a few tweaks, and then I think that's good to go. So you'll see that a bit later. And on with the vlog. So I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do with those stickers. I want to obviously share them, so whether to sell them or as a digital thing or a physical thing. So today I thought I'd just have a play around with my cutter, my sticker cutter again, and various sticker papers. The issue I was having, I bought a huge bulk load of sticker paper online because it was the only one I could find that had the plain backing, like not branding on the back, and it was just useless, it wouldn't stick. So today I pulled out a different brand. It's like one of the main brands here in Japan. Well, it might not be Japanese, I've no idea. But this is obviously in Japanese. Elecom, and it's multi-print sticker paper. It comes in A4 sheets. And it has this on the back, which is not too bad. That's fairly subtle. So I think probably if I'm going to sell stickers, it's not going to be too bad if that's on the back. But the only thing is it has these two peel lines. Oh god! So it's supposed to make it easier to pull the backing off. But basically, there's one that runs all the way down here and one that runs all the way down there. Which means that if I'm going to do like sticker sheets, I'd normally do like chop it in half that way and half that way, and you'd have like a sticker sheet here. But if the backing is sort of peeling away halfway across the back of the sheet, that's not really going to work very well. So today what I've been working on is designing the stickers so that they don't cover that line. I'll show you what I mean, then it'll make more sense. Hang on. Okay, so sorry if this doesn't show up very well on the screen, but basically I've got Photoshop open, and in Photoshop you can sort of drag guidelines out from the side and you can put them wherever you need them on the page, so if you need to kind of have things at certain measurements. So I simply dragged two across and put them at the positions where the split is on the back of the sticker paper, so I know not to kind of go over that line. So it basically leaves me with this like quite, well, medium width
strip down the middle and then 2 thin ones around each side, which is not ideal, but I've just got to work with it for the moment. So for an example, I kind of, so if I show you these, hang on, if I do 2 sticker sheets in the middle, I can do 2 like this, for example. So these are just like plain numbers. I was just sort of experimenting with what files I had on the computer. So 2 sort of sticker sheets in the middle, and then if I want to do something at the side, they have to be kind of different, like large die cut type things. So the blue bit is just the cutting line. So yeah, I can end up with sticker sheets like that basically. So I've had a go at printing these off and cutting them out on my cutter, and I'll show you the results now. So I'm just checking to see that cutting worked, and I think I haven't put the cutting blade on the right setting, because those aren't, they're cut but they're not cut all the way through, so I need to put them on again with a different blade setting, which is a bit of a pain, but never mind. Okay, so I made the blade the right length, and it's worked, they've gone through, but unfortunately because I had to go over it so many times to get the right depth, they've kind of squished up. So these, like the paper's kind of caught on the cutter, so these lot will go on my sort of seconds pile, but they look quite cute still. Where's the camera? But yeah, I won't sell these, they'll have to go on my like give them as gifts or something pile with the other ones. So I've done one more printout of this sticker sheet, and it's kind of my last chance to get something right today. I just got everything wrong. Like, I mean, I haven't got it wrong, it's just what happens when you're like trying something new. It's all trial and error, and it's all been trial and error so far. This is my last chance because I'm actually running out of printer ink, so I've just ordered some again, and I'm also running out of this paper, and Amazon says they're out of stock of this paper now, suddenly. It was there this morning and now it's out of stock. So I'm just going to have to fingers crossed and hope this works. Right, wish me luck. I'm going to load it up now. It's very noisy, so I won't film this part. Okay, so I've organised all the first lot I did. I made sure I've got them all there, 1 through to 31. So these they're sort of like, some of them are a bit jagged around the edge, so I don't want to put these up for sale. So these are sort of trial number 1, and trial number 2's just come out of the cutter, and the cuttings work fine, work really well. They've all basically cut beautifully, but I've just noticed that the print quality is not good, because presumably my printer was running low of ink. So I mean, you can see really clearly the difference actually if I put this one next to it. So that was the first one I printed, and then that's the second one. So the second one, the print quality is just not as good, so that's annoying. I still haven't got it right, so I'm feeling really knackered, tired. I feel like I've been doing this all day, trying to get this right, and I still haven't managed to get one saleable one saleable product, because everything's gone wrong in slightly different ways, which is very imaginative of life to make everything go wrong slightly differently each time. But never mind. So I'm going to have to give up for today because I have no printer ink left. I've got no printer paper left. I've got a load of things that are not as good as I want them to be. But I'll just kind of prepare them into piles, I think, and maybe do a giveaway or something at some point, or just send them to people. I've no idea. I haven't decided yet. And just wait until the ink cartridges come, wait until I get some more paper, and then start afresh another time. But I think that's the end of making stickers for this week for me. So I'll have to do something else tomorrow. So basically, in conclusion, it didn't really go that well today. I mean, when I say that, I just mean I don't have anything that happened. I don't have anything like successful that I can actually sell as a product. So I'm a bit tired because I've been doing it all day. I stopped very briefly for lunch, and then just cracked on because I was really kind of excited because when I obviously got the scanning machine, the cutting machine, I was really excited to use it, and every time I tried, something went wrong. So I'd stopped for a while, and I'd had this like fresh burst of energy and idea, and I thought I'd do another go, and it's hard work, but I'm sure I'll get there in the end eventually. Anyway, it's only Tuesday. I've still got some more of the week left to get some things done. So, yeah, this is the worst time of the day to film. It's like 3 o'clock, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm just at my absolute lowest brain-wise. So I do apologise. I don't really have anything else much to say because I've just been in here doing stickers all day. Apart from my walk this morning. I've been trying to upload the video of my flip through of my woodbird, and my internet's a bit crap, but hopefully you've already seen that. That's already up. Planner update today. All I really have to say is I've dug out my my TN, my knackered old was blue TN, but I kind of ruined it a bit, and now it's not so blue, it's more green. Because I want to make this into a sort of a work notes, because I pulled it off the shelf last night. I just came in my office for a little like chill late at night, just to kind of have a little think and a bit of wine. And I pulled it off the shelf and I looked inside, and I realised I'd kept an insert in there, which is kind of all my notes about stickers and printing notes and things like that. And I had a flick through it and I thought, well, this is very useful. Well done, old me, for keeping this notebook. So, I mean, you probably I'm not that interested in seeing it, but just like notes about printers and sticker paper and sizes and dimensions and all that kind of stuff. And I started work a few years ago on like packaging, like business cards and notelets to go in if I ever sold anything. Like little brown envelope. I was trying to like not use plastic so much, so little brown paper envelopes. Experimented with printing on envelopes, printing on paper envelopes. This is like the note that I was going to put in, which is all sort of like typed up on I actually typed it on my typewriter, and then I scanned it and sort of fiddled around with it digitally, and that's printed on the back of like a Japanese receipt, some paper from like a receipt book or something, like costing things, ideas for photos on Etsy, ideas for stickers. So I'd obviously really had a good go at trying to do stickers, but then I know it got to this point when I was trying to print these little Kokeshi dolls out, and everything was just going wrong, and I couldn't get the cutter to work, and I gave up. Anyway, I started off again, so this is my notes from today, like what went wrong and what didn't work. And I find it useful because things like I have to know what depth to put the cutter on, the blade on the cutter for certain papers. It's useful for me to have it written down so that I can have a look. So I'm going to continue with that. I mean, this is all just about stickers really. And then I put another, so this is a Kakuno insert. They're really nice. I really enjoy them actually. And I just put another one in. This is just a lined one. Because I need to sort of start writing down plans, my ideas, what I'm going to do, like what am I doing, basically. I need a space to do that, so I'm going to do that. Probably just make a few notes now with all the things that are kind of floating around in my head. And then I'm going to call it a day, basically. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Okay. My chair creaked when I said bye, so I'll try again. Bye. Hello, so it's Wednesday. I nearly said Monday. It's Wednesday, and I've been in the office for about 20 minutes or so, and I had a bit of a stressful morning. Everything was a bit of a rush. But I went for my walk and I got back and I got into the office at 9:30, and I've done a bit of planning, so I'm just going to quickly show you that and then I'll get on with today's tasks. So this is on my wall now. I've just stuck it on, and I've basically just given myself a little morning office routine, ideally from 9:30 till 10 in the morning. I mean, it shouldn't take that long, but of just sort of like going through all my random lists. I have sort of like three places I need to check in the morning, basically. My home or life calendar, which is in my Filofax, just to check the kind of monthly calendar to see if there's any important things I need to do, like get rubbish out, or if it's somebody's birthday, I want to message them and say happy birthday, things like that. And then the idea being that I will write this on a sticky note, like a focus for the day. Secondly, I need to look at my office inbox, and my office inbox is basically some notepaper by my computer, which is, at the moment, I'm just using a scrap paper that I don't want, so that's just scrap paper right by my computer, and I just write on there throughout the day. And then, obviously, the next day I can go through it, and I'll be putting tasks or notes or ideas into two places from now on. I'm going to have two separate sort of like running to-do lists, a home one in my Filofax and a work one in my traveller's notebook. And then I'll do the same with any notes that I take during morning pages. So when I'm writing my morning pages, I often end up with like a whole bunch of ideas that kind of spring up, and I'm like, oh, I need to remember to do this today, I need to remember to do that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm finding it really useful in my morning pages book to have like sticky notes again next to me. And then I just sort of write things down as they come, because I don't want to spend too long thinking about these things. I just want to kind of write them down and then get on with the writing of the morning pages. So I've started doing that. So that inbox sticky note again needs to be kind of cleared into my two to-do lists, my home to-do lists and my work to-do lists. And then at the end of it, I just basically look at those two to-do lists, and put anything that I decide to do that day onto my sticky note. That's kind of how I'm going to try doing things from now. So I have, hang on, wobbly camera. I have today's sticky notes here. So I've got to put burnable rubbish out. So these are my two home tasks, basically. I need to put the burnables rubbish out, and make some new stickers for my son. And then my work things I need to do today, I'm hopefully going to get these done and then get on with some drawing. That's the plan. But basically plan a sort of rough out a kind of a weekly work schedule. I'm going to draw some Monday to... I might do Monday to Sunday, actually. Sort of like images. And if I make them into PNG files, I can kind of overlay them onto these vlogs. So you might have already... If I've been successful, you'd have seen them already. And then I also want to start a page of writing notes about possibly starting a Patreon at some point. It won't be happening anytime soon, I don't think, but it's something I'd really love to do in the future. So I just want to kind of watch a few videos, take a few notes, and sort of have a place where I can, if something occurs to me, I can write them down. So those are my sort of like basic things that I want to do today. And obviously, if I don't get them done, I'm not going to freak out, but that's sort of giving me a little bit of a guide. And I've just shoved them in that lunchbox because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. Yeah, so that's the plan. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is the lettering for the Monday to Sunday so that you can see what I'm talking about. So basically all I'm going to do is just hand letter, and it's not going to be fancy hand lettering, it's just going to be like roughly done, probably, Monday to Sunday on this paper. This is a bit of a ripped up MD notebook, a cotton one, because I used the first half of this last year as like a journal catch-all, and I archived all of it, but I kept the blank pages, cut the blank pages off the back so that I can use it because it's a really nice paper. I don't want to waste it. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw like a frame. What pencil am I going to use? I think I'm going to use my favourite, which I always use, my Tombow Monograph mechanical pencil. So I'm just going to sort of draw a grid because I want to obviously have all the letters roughly the same size. And then what I'll do is I'll scan it into my computer, sort of clean it up and separate them out into different files. So that's the plan. Here goes. So I've just drawn out, these are 2 centimetres height, and then I'll just sort of roughly draw the rest of the line across. I'm not doing this very accurately, but hey ho. If I get it all completely funny sizes, I can always sort of redo it when I get onto Photoshop. Okay, I have no idea why I left this gap here, but because I've got the camera on, and when the camera's on, I get all sort of confused about what I'm doing, basically. I think I'm probably gonna do it with my Tombow brush pen, and I'm probably gonna do it off camera because if I do it with the camera on, it's gonna go wrong. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so to begin with, nothing fancy. I've just literally I started with the longest day, which was Wednesday, and just made sure I could fit that in. Just wrote it roughly in pencil, and then just kind of roughly wrote the rest of them out. This might not work, but actually, I'm not really like precious about lettering. I just want to just do it and have it quite natural and be my handwriting, basically. So I'm not going to be like trying to make it fancy or anything like that. So let's see what happens when I use the pen. Okay, so that's those written out. I didn't do anything fancy, I just drew them out with this pen. And that was it, basically. So I'm going to scan it now first, and then I'm probably going to fiddle around with it, neaten it up, probably tweak a few bits. I've no idea. I might even have another go. And I'm not going to bore you with any more bits of it until they're done, basically. So I'll see you later. Okay, so I've done a few variations, and I've saved them all as PNG, and I don't know how I worked it out. I probably googled this, but basically if you save something as a PNG on Photoshop, you don't save anything in the background. So this sort of checkered effect, when you're using Photoshop, if you've hidden the background, which is like if you imagine it as the lowest piece of paper on a stack of images, the background's basically removed, which means that if I then overlay any image without a background onto a video, the background shows through. So this all here would be the video showing through, and you just get the letters showing on the screen. So if you want to do anything like that on a YouTube video, I mean, don't quote me. And the reason I haven't done a tutorial on this is because I'm kind of making this stuff up as I go most of the time. So these, I think, hopefully are all saved as PNG with no background. And I've sort of done variations, some with sort of, you can't really tell on here, but for example, this one was white lettering and I did a black outline around it. And then this is sort of like the opposite, black lettering, I think. Hang on, this one, you can't tell, but this is black lettering with white sort of glow, an outer glow around it. And that means that depending on the background of your video, if it's dark or light, you can kind of use one or the other. So I'll just try and show you an example now. If I film my printer, which is obviously black, you can hopefully, if I manage it, see the differences here. So yeah, I'm going to try and use these from now on in my studio vlogs, just for something to do. So I've got that done, and I'm quite pleased I did that. It didn't take as long as I thought, actually, so I can go on to my next task of the day, which is either planning a weekly work schedule or starting some notes for Patreon. And I probably won't show much of that, because it's just going to be me with my head bent over the desk. So it's bye-bye for now, and I'll show you something later. Okay, I just want to give a shout out to Emily Harvey Art. And I'll put her her video, what am I saying, YouTube channel down below in the description. But I'm spending a bit of time making some notes from one of her videos. She did a really good video on like how she started using Patreon, like how she set it up and what she decided to do. And she does this brilliant like how-to tutorial videos. I think she did a really good one on Instagram as well. But yeah, I'm just basically taking some notes from a video and just sort of having a think about it. I'm not going to be doing it anytime soon, because I don't feel like I'm at that point yet where I have, well, basically I don't think like I've got enough to offer. But hopefully some point in the future is going to be a possibility. And while I was doing that, I had a little break watching one of my favourite YouTubers, Sylvia from Write Your Life. And she actually mentioned me in her video, so I had to film this because I thought it was so sweet of her. And she actually wrote me down. I am in one of her traveller's notebooks, so you can see I'm quite happy about that. So thank you, Sylvia. I'll link both of these brilliant ladies down below in the description box. And then after I've done that, taken my notes about Patreon and watched a sneaky video, I've probably got YouTube playing on in the background actually, and I'm doing a drawing. I'd done some like little sort of doodly drawings in my sketchbook a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to see what happened when I took one of those and did it larger. So here I'm using watercolour paper, and I cut an A4 sheet in half, so it's an A5 piece, and I taped it down to a wooden board, because I'm such an amateur with watercolour, so please don't like think I know what I'm doing, because I don't. But I basically have taped it down to the board with washi tape, because that's supposed to help stop the paper buckle, I think, when you're adding water. And I'm using my lovely Tombow pencil to just draw out a new version, basically. So I'm doing the little girl who's surrounded by blue flowers in this one, and they're supposed to be forget-me-nots, but clearly forget-me-nots don't do that. But it's not correct. Botanically correct drawing, but yeah. So I did the line art in pencil, and then I went over with watercolours, and I'm using, I can't remember which brand it is, but it's a Watercolour Pen, and they're not the best things to use. I mean, they're great for when you're out and about, and I find they're great for me because I'm incredibly lazy and I don't want to have to keep going down the stairs to change my paint water, basically. So I'm afraid I'm using one of those, but they are great for what they are. They're really handy, and this is my favourite brand, and I'll find out what they are and put them below. So yeah, I'm just using that to colour in, to kind of paint in, colour in the lines, basically. And I have a go at blending, like doing a bit of like shading on her trousers, and it sort of works, but it also kind of doesn't, because my blending skills are not the best. But I'm having a go anyway. I love the bright turquoisey blue of forget-me-nots, so I was trying to make that sort of really pop out. So I'll just leave you, I'll stop talking and I'll just leave you with the rest of this clip. And I'll be back in a bit.
Hi, so it's Friday now, just coming to the end of the week in terms of doing anything creative-wise, work-wise. And actually, this morning I'm going through my food order. Basically, I order online now. There's a food delivery system run by, I'm assuming, something related to the co-op. It's called Korpu, which is how they say co-op here. And they deliver to your door once a week, so you get a weekly slot, a specific slot every week, and you've got a deadline to order. And you can do it like old-fashioned paper-wise by filling in one of those like check forms, filling in the form, or you can actually do it online. So I tend to do it online. So I thought I'd just show you the few pages in here just for interest before I wrap up, basically, because I always get stuck on the snack page and I'm looking at all these things and thinking, oh, that looks really good, and there's just, there's cute packaging. So if I just hold this up, that cute little pink one now, little sweets, I think it's mochi, I can't tell, kibidango it says, yeah, mochi. Oh, isn't it cute packaging? Tempted to get it just for the packaging. And then this one here, you actually get a little tin, and it's not expensive. I mean, I don't know how many pieces, you get 5 little Swiss roll type sweet bean cakes in there, and then you also get a little tin, which is really cute, and it's not that expensive, but I really don't need it. So I'm just going to sit here and basically have some dilemmas over, I mean, these are not like fancy packaging, but they look really good. Tokyo Choco Banana Langue de chat. Long de chat, like the French biscuits, chocolate ones with banana cream inside. It looks like. But I'm quite tempted by this one because this is Mont Blanc, which is like my favourite type of cake. It's sweet chestnut cake, Mont Blanc, like obviously the French mountain. Anyway. So I'm just going to basically have a few dilemmas over here for a bit, order my food, and then I'm going to edit this video. And that's about it, really. I've got some sticker designs already. I could probably just show you those, actually. So yeah, I scanned in my sort of redo. So this is the original painting. Sort of painting, but I also ended up using like pencil crayon and things on it. So I finished that yesterday, and then I scanned it in and I sort of tweaked it a bit, and I made the background a bit bluer. So this is what it looks like on here now. I mean, it always looks nicer in real life, but I suppose paintings usually do. So I basically I'm going to try and print them off as stickers next week when the printer ink and the sticker paper arrives. So I have these 2 files ready to go. So I'm going to print, basically, if I print 1 of this sheet and 2 of this, I should end up with 10 of each stickers. And then there'll be like a little set of 4. So obviously she's on there, that one, because she's going to be quite, well, a larger one. And then on this one, it will be the little dandelion girl, like that. This lady with the plants growing out of her head. I mean, don't ask me why, but she just has got plants growing out of her head. They could be behind her. And then this one I quite liked with the book. Like, could be a planner or a journal, I suppose, a book with like a lilac, I suppose, coming out of the top. I'm just going to print them and see what happens, really. I don't know if they'll look good as stickers or not. I've no idea, but hopefully that will happen next week when I get my ink. So that's going to be a wrap for this studio vlog this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I haven't been able to get out and about much, so it's mostly been me just doing work, but I hope it's been interesting. Please leave any questions or comments down below, and I will try and do another one next week. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all happy and safe and snuggled up at home. And yes, speak to you soon. Bye bye.